Calabria, girl, you are dead wrong. You are dead wrong for calling this man a bitch.
Right now, but instead,
You didn't even tell me sorry, so that's fine. You didn't do it.
Exactly.
I don't want you to ever apologize about something
mad at
and
me
not
for not.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would greatly appreciate if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And of course, the brand new one, hyping. If you don't know how to hype a video, scroll down to the comment section. You guys did correct me in the comments that this is also on Android. So basically, if you're on your mobile device, iOS or Android, scroll to the right, you should see the option to hype a video. And it is just simply a thing that helps push smaller content or smaller, under 500,000 views content into the algorithm more. Thank you so much for those of you guys that have been hyping the videos, interacting with the videos. Again, Love is Blind is a great performing show on the channel. I really do enjoy covering this show. As much as, it could be a lot. I do like covering this show, and we are still on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So thank you again to all the old subscribers, new subscribers. Hello, hello, hello. Today we are going to be talking about Love is Blind Season 9, Episode 11. Episode 11. We're still in Denver. We still have a few couples, but they are dropping like flies. We're still having the same arguments. Let's jump in. We start out with a little update for each of the couples. We have KB and Ed. Ed's giving her a foot massage. We have Jordan and Megan at a psychic reading that claims that they are soulmates. What else do we have? Ally and Anton, they are snowboarding. And then we pan over to Joe and Madison.
And he said that if we go to the altar, he's gonna say no.
So Madison's back at the shared apartment. She's on the phone sobbing because, as we know, Joe he had it. He could not take it anymore at the fitting, and he stormed out last time. So Madison is sobbing about how Joe's gone. It's all over. We have Joe in the living room waiting. We know it's about to be the talk of a lifetime.
I still have love for somebody, but know that maybe they're not the right one.
So I just want to understand, why. Thinking about you as somebody else a year from now, makes me feel sick.
So they get to talking, and Madison is, of course, in tears, and she is basically wondering why Joe even let her go to the dress fitting in the first place. That I will give it to her, because from the minute this man talked about her big physique, he was not into her. And that is very, very clear. Joe is one of those people, I don't know if he wanted to look good on camera. It's not giving look good. But either case, I do agree. What was even the point of pushing through this entire thing when you knew from that minute onward that you were not trying to be with her? This man was always trying to pick fights with her. He was practically begging her to find problems with him so he could get out of this. But in either case, Joe's like, I don't know, the tux fitting was my breaking point. That was just when I had the breakthrough, and sometimes you realize that you can have love for somebody, but they're just not your person. And Madison loses it. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm not your person? Can you tell me what it is? What is it? What did I do wrong? And Joe doesn't want to say. The obvious and clear answer is that he's not attracted to her. Period. He could not get past his lack of attraction to her. But Madison is begging this man to say something. And Joe's just kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't fit. Sometimes you just realize that it's not right. And so, taking a book out of the Annie playbook of desperation, Madison starts to go into how, well, if we had just met out of here, do you think that this would have actually worked? Because I feel like you're just overwhelmed about the wedding. I feel like it's the concept of the wedding itself. I feel like we probably still have something strong here. And he's like, nah, if I'm being honest, I feel like had we met outside of here, this wouldn't have even worked, period. Because at least in this, I got to know you deeply. And I was like, ouch, ouch. But you wanted to know. You kept pushing. And I'm like, Madison, girl, there is no reason that you need to be on the floor begging slobbering, pleading, crying for this 5'6" below average man. I am tired. It is ridiculous. But they keep on going. Madison talks about how embarrassing it is for this to happen after the hoedown. So then she starts to ask him if it's because he wants to be with someone else that he saw at the hoedown. I'm like, oh, he just don't like you. He just doesn't like you. And I feel like this is a lesson as women that we sometimes have to learn when we actually mature when it comes to dating, that just because a man wants to do the boom boom with you, it does not mean he likes you. A lot of these men, they can put it past and do the boom boom with anything. And I think for Madison, she's having a lot of trouble conceptualizing the fact that Joe is willing to F her, but that was the extent of it. That there were no deeper feelings there. And I feel very bad for her. Do not get me wrong. Joe is absolutely in the wrong for even proceeding to F this girl, knowing very, very well that he was not going to be with her. But if you're Madison, come on, girl. Besides the boom boom, what was this man giving you to make you believe that he was into you? Because based off even the scenes we saw on the television show, this man seemed disinterested, bored. He was constantly trying to pick little fights with you to get you to not like him. It seemed very obvious watching it from here. But in either event, Joe says, look, I just knew that if we went to the altar, I was going to say no. And ultimately they end it. That's the end of it. The two of them are done. They start packing their stuff up. Again, Madison is just in tears. She continues to try to plead a little bit. For Madison, she said this is more than just a breakup for her. It is the ending of a life stage together. And I'm like, girl, you knew this man for 3 weeks. You knew this man for 3 weeks. It's okay. You are acting like you and this man have 7 years down the line and he just decided to call off the engagement. You will be just fine, girlie. You will be just fine. So then we flash over to KB and Ed. They're up in the mountains, in the middle of nowhere. They got their little cabin in the background. They have a picnic blanket. KB goes inside to get their hot chocolate, and she's trying to sit down with the 2 cups, and Edmund doesn't really help her or offer to take one of the cups from her. And she's like, thanks for the help. Now, you could already tell KB's in a little bit of a mood. So as you know, they launch into a conversation.
Every time we're about to do something fun, we get into it because of an asshole remark that you do. Then all of a sudden on camera, oh babe, oh baby, oh babe, let's do this, oh babe. I love you through the good and the bad, but I will not accept you through the bad when you act like that, when you dismiss me.
This time, KB essentially says, honestly, in the car, you were having all kind of attitude with me. You were being dismissive. You didn't even want to talk to me. But as soon as the cameras get on, you want to be all happy-go-lucky and pretend that things are fine. And for me, I can't be like that. When I feel some type of way, I can't just put on an act in front of all of these people and pretend that everything is fine. He then starts to put a lot of blame on Ed by saying every time they're going to go to do something fun, it's his comments that cause them to have a fight like this. So we get into it a little deeper. We basically find out that for Ed's bachelor party, the theme was going to be Western, and he wasn't feeling it. So he was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And KB was trying to talk to Edmund and say, hey, like, relax, you know, it's okay. We don't gotta be like that. And apparently she felt that he was being very dismissive by looking straight, completely ignoring her, not acknowledging anything that she was trying to say. KB starts to launch into how she's not a fake person and she's not going to not show her emotions. And you know what? At this point, KB, this on you, girl. It's on you. And don't mishear me, because I know y'all love to not hear everything. Do not mishear me. Obviously, we've talked about Edmund. Edmund has extensively been talked about on this channel. But KB, girl, it's on you. Number one, you are fed up and frustrated with this man, and the way you talk to him is probably the reason why he starts to shut down in conversations. We see the way that KB is talking to Edmund here. KB talks to Ed like he's a child. KB talks to Ed very patronizingly. During this entire conversation, she's like, sweetheart, sweetheart, sweetheart. It feels very condescending. And again, I am still perplexed from day one with KB coming into the pod saying, you don't got to do this, you don't got to do that, I'm going to do everything, knowing damn well she was lying. This is the problem when you're desperate for someone, is that you just be saying any and everything to try to get them, and then this is where you end up. And it is on you now, KB, because there's multiple couples that have left this experiment saying, this is not for me. This is not going to work. If you choose to stay with someone knowing the capacity they are at, you don't get to sit here every single day and speak to them patronizingly, talk down to them, be rude to them, call them out their name. It's just not right. It's disrespectful. So she keeps on going, and she talks about how the Ed she sees now is not the Ed she fell in love with in Mexico. And I'm like, you mean the man who literally started having a literal tantrum, crying, manipulating, and trying to force you to have sex with him? That's the guy you were in love with, girl? That guy from Mexico? Because who else are we talking about? But in either event, she goes on and on about how she can't force him to grow up. He's never accountable. Ed is like, I would keep it real. You want me to apologize for something I'm not sorry for, and I'm not about to do that. So Calabria starts to go in again, being like, I am puzzled. I do not understand how you know this behavior is dismissive, yet you refuse to apologize. And we saw this behavior from Calabria in the last episode as well, where she was literally flat out telling Ed, apologize for this. And I'm like, you gotta relax. You gotta relax, girl. Because for as immature as we know that Ed is, you yourself continue to engage in this relationship. You yourself continue to sit on our television screens and say you accept this man for who he is. So if you're accepting this man for who he is, then you gotta accept all of it. You don't get to be in a relationship to beat someone down, make them your project, talk down to them patronizingly, and then expect that you could still claim that you're in the right. And the way that Calabria is talking to Ed, it's not okay. It's not right. Again, if it was me, I wouldn't have even made it here, because I know that I would have felt very similar frustration to Calabria. But again, you chose to stay in this. So you are now becoming the villain. You are becoming a villain yourself, Calabria. Ed says once again, he's not apologizing. He's not like, Calabria starts screaming, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Stop talking to me, bitch. And I'm like,
me off all the time, though.
Okay,
you cut me
stop
off
fucking
way.
talking to me, bitch, because you're not letting me talk. I didn't just agree with you a moment ago, but I let you get that shit off your chest.
now, Calabria, you dead wrong for that, sis. You are dead wrong for this. And that's on camera. God only knows what these arguments are like that are not filmed. Because again, for as much as we've seen Edmund do, we see the way you talk to him on camera. And if you talk to him off camera the same or worse than you talk to him here, well, no offense, sis, but nobody's gonna do what you want them to do when you speak to them this way. If you don't have respect for this man, then get out, then leave. But that is dead wrong. Calling your partner out of their name? Completely inappropriate. And it shows that you also lack conflict resolution skills, communication skills. All of the things we've honed in on Ed, Calabria, you have a lot of those qualities as well. Because if you think calling your partner a bitch is the way to get them to do what you want them to do, nah, KB, you lost me this one, sis. You lost me. I mean, you lost me last one. I ain't even go. You lost me a couple of, but you really, really lost me. Because this indicates that this is the way you tend to talk to people to get what you want. No, ma'am. So, Anton and Ally. Ally is with her mom, and they are basically talking about how one of Ally's sisters doesn't really approve of Love is Blind. Anton shows up, and they all meet each other. Ally's mom, she is somebody that's really into this experiment.
Somewhere have to go together.
She met her husband online. They were long distance. Now, Ally does talk a little bit about Anton's habits, or Ally's mom, excuse me. She talks a little bit about Anton's habits and about how when you're married, basically you're a unit. You don't go out with your boys and do stuff. You do things together. It's the two of you. You're not going out alone. You're doing things all together all the time. I understand some people traditionally have those views. I can't say I follow that. I can't say that I believe that every time you go outside, you need to be with your partner. That's not how I live my life personally. But I mean, if that's something that Ally wants and something that her mom wants, at least I guess it's good for her to speak on it. Is Anton with it? I don't think so. And I don't think he has to be with it. But he does discuss how he grew up Russian. He grew up very traditionally. So the man is the man of the house. He does say that he supports if Ally wants to go get her master's, he will be able to support them. Y'all need to say no at the altar, please. I'm starting to get worried that these two are actually going to get married. It's going to be an absolute dumpster fire. So Megan and Jordan, they're at some place where they're lighting cowboy hats on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Apparently, this is some really popular place in Denver. So they're doing all kinds of little things like that. They go off to the side to have a conversation. And Megan discusses that she searched another house today, but it was not the one. Now, remember, we saw them having that little psychic reading at the beginning. Megan starts to talk about how if you add up all the numbers of your address and it adds up to a certain number, that means it's bad luck. So that's the reason that she doesn't like this new house, because the numbers add up and it's bad luck. She said something about it needed to be 6. Jordan's like, oh, okay. It's a little woo-woo for me, but in either case, I feel like whatever the right house is, I will be there. Side note, did y'all see Megan's little yoga services website online? It's not giving rich multimillionaire. That website is giving, I'm a scammer. But if y'all saw her website for her quote unquote health and wellness business. So Jordan asks, what do you think are the best and worst qualities about me? What do you think she said the best was? I'll pause. If you said being a dad, you are absolutely correct. She says this man's best quality is being a dad. And at this point, I want to hear if there is anything else Megan likes about Jordan besides the fact that he is a dad to a child that has type 1 diabetes like her father did. I just want to know, because that is the only compliment besides the boom boom being phenomenal that she has given this man. She says his worst quality is sometimes that he is very quiet, and she's not really used to that. Sometimes she feels like she has to struggle to get conversation going between the two of them. And for her, it's really awkward because she's very high energy and she's not really used to being with somebody like that. Jordan gets into how he doesn't really want to talk about work at home. And for him, he'd rather just leave that at the office and come home and relax, lay down, watch a movie. And she's like, well, I don't know. I'd rather you talk about work than us sit here and stare at each other. And this comes back later on in the episode. But for me, I think comfortable silence is a strong indicator of actually having a strong connection. Obviously, in a process like this, of course, you need to be having conversations. Of course, you need to be getting to know each other. But sometimes I feel like if that silence feels so awkward, or if you have to scrounge together so hard to actually find things to talk about, maybe it means that you have nothing in common. Did you ever think, Megan, that maybe you don't have anything in common with this man and he feels like y'all don't have anything in common and maybe this isn't the right pairing? Anybody? I don't know. So we flash back to KB and Ed. They're back to the apartment. Ed comes in the house with flowers and he does try to apologize to Calabria.
The ways you help. I swear, KB, if it was not for you, and it's really only because of you. I'm dead serious.
Accountable. That was a man that just walked in here and did that. You ain't sit down on the couch. You ain't sit down right here and get on your phone. You ain't sit down.
For basically everything that she's been forcing him to apologize for. He just kind of regurgitates all of the stuff that she says that he did wrong. She says, look, I'm not going to lie to you. There was a part where I really wanted to throw the ring off the mountain. And for her, she's been battling whether she has any more to give in this relationship. And again, girl, what is it that has you so pressed to be with this man? If you don't like him, you don't like his demeanor, you're calling him a B. Girl, you don't respect this man. Why would you want to be with a man that you don't respect? But in either case, Edmund starts his plea and says that Calabria has made him into the best man he's ever been. He wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. Yada, yada, yada. The same thing that every single person says. Eventually, Calabria does say that the apology and the flowers did win her back over. And for her, Edmund has also helped her grow tremendously. She wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. And the two of them are still full steam ahead to go to the altar. Anton and Ally have a small scene in the mountains. They both talk about how they are scarily similar, how for both of them, they feel like as long as you're both putting in the effort and the commitment into the relationship, it will always succeed or something of that nature. They just have a pretty the conversation means nothing. Don't get married, you two. KB and Ed are in the park rollerblading. Cute, I guess. And then we have Megan and Jordan. So they are at the apartment. Megan is starting to clean. Jordan's kind of just on his phone. Then Jordan does start to help Megan clean up a little bit, and he's in the closet. And Megan is basically like, I don't know. I don't want to force you to have to talk to me. But sometimes I feel like I'm really pulling teeth to get anything out of you.
A simple one-word answer. Say something.
I don't know if that's a deal breaker for you or.
I mean, it's not a deal breaker if it's every.
Jordan tries to say once again that he is tired from work, and Megan is like, I'm gonna be real, I am tired of the excuses. I feel like I have to be the one to drag all of the conversations together, and it's not really going anywhere. And again, I gotta be honest. From Jordan's demeanor, especially some of the things that he said in some of these little parties that they have and in the guys' get-togethers, I'm surprised that he claims he's 100% in, because I could feel like Megan is picking up a little bit of the fact that Jordan doesn't seem that interested. Again, it could be his personality. It could genuinely be that he's a father. He works. There's a lot going on with him. But I do understand a level of that, what is going on. So Jordan claims again that he doesn't want to put all of his work stress on her. And Megan's like, okay, so what if the TV's not on? We have no distractions. Are we just going to sit there and stare at each other the whole time? Jordan says that he likes that. He likes to be able to sit down, watch a movie. He doesn't want to feel like they have to be doing things all the time. And Megan starts to launch into how she's very active. She could spend a week in LA. She does tennis. Then she might be at a happy hour. And she wants to feel like her partner can be involved in that. And I'm like, girl, this man is a working father. He's not going to be doing that anyway. This is the problem that I have with these people, where I don't think Jordan is wrong or Megan is wrong. Me personally, I am an introvert. I know y'all never believe me when I say that on these videos, but I am an introvert. And I'm the kind of person where, yes, I like my space. I also do not do well with people where it's an expectation that we're always going to be talking, and I'm always going to be at something, and I'm always going to be around a group of people. It's just not for me. But at the same time, some people are like that, and I understand that. But this is the problem again, where you think that a trauma is enough to build a relationship. Now the two of them are realizing they legitimately have nothing in common, because Jordan's not going to be living that life, Megan. He has a child. He can't just jet off to LA, then be at your tennis meet, then be at a happy hour. He's not going to be doing that. He supposedly has his kid almost 50% of the time. What did you think it was gonna be like? Megan then goes into how in the pods, it was all jokes, it was all conversation. And so this is totally different than what she's used to. And again, I feel like there's also this weird thing with Megan where she's very worried about things that aren't necessarily an active issue. I feel like she's like, well, if there's no TV, there's no distractions. I'm like, girl, everybody has their phone. Everybody has television, laptop, phone. How many situations are you really going to be in? Obviously, when you're filming, I get it. You guys can't just sit on your phones, sit on TVs. But like in the real world, you guys are obviously going to always have something that you can use to distract you. It's not like in the real world, Jordan is going to be your one and only source of entertainment. So I feel like it's just weird that she's even making this argument. But in either case, Jordan's like, this is not the pods. He's like, I just was hoping that you could have a little bit more empathy for me because I don't want to come home from work and have this abrasive conversation where you're tearing me down. I'm telling you that I'm exhausted. I'm telling you that I had a long day. I talk to people for literally 10 hours a day. The last thing I want to do is come home and also just be blah, 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 blah. And again, fundamentally, this just seems like a difference in communication styles and personalities, as we've all seen. I feel like there's not even like a deep thing to talk about with this because we've seen, I think most of us have clocked that the two of these people are completely and totally different people. It doesn't seem like they really have anything in common in terms of compatibility, but they keep on going. Jordan does get into how she said that she has this really busy lifestyle, and he asks, well, what is that going to be like when we have a kid? When we have a kid, I don't want to just pawn my kid off on a nanny or pawn my kid off on a daycare. I actually would like to take care of our kids. So again, so many differences, so many differences. So they take it back to the kitchen and Megan's like, look, I like the finer things in life and I don't even know what you like, but sometimes I want to feel courted.
You said it yourself in the pods, you didn't want this to be about money. All those other guys that were like crazy rich business guys who you probably did all those things with never worked out.
I want to get nice flowers. I want to see a nice card. I like fancy restaurants. And to be honest, I have no idea what you like. And I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about. When all you guys do is talk about the shared trauma you have, you don't learn a thing about each other. One day people will learn that trauma is not a guarantee for a healthy and successful relationship. So, shared trauma, it's just not. So he's like, I don't know. I mean, you didn't fall in love with me in the pods for my hobbies. I could do any of your hobbies and be fine. And again, I get Megan's irritation to a level. Obviously, of course, Megan is the type of person where she wants a partner that can come into her lifestyle, but it's also giving plug and play. It's also giving, I want a guy that's going to do whatever I want to do. And that's also just not how things work. Also, you're talking about you want to feel courted. You want this man to take you. He doesn't have the money, girl. This man literally does not have the money. He does not have the money to finance this luxurious courtship that you are looking for. Just end it while you're still up because it's not going to work. It's not. But that's it. We'll see. We end off on them two having that conversation. If you made it to this point of the video, that means you like the video. So I would greatly appreciate if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and hyping. Please, please hype the videos. It makes a big, big difference. As I said, we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much to everyone that has been supporting the channel. Thank you guys so, so much to all of you guys that have continue to be here just throughout this entire year. I know I've been real up and down with the content and just with everything happening. So I'm glad to be back and to be consistent. And I will talk to you guys for the last couple of videos of the season. Bye.